Welcome back to another Valheim video. I'm very excited to share this episode with you. There's something we got to talk about before we get started here. I recorded 6.5 hours worth of footage and came to the realization that I just absolutely despised how that video went. Not because of the content itself. We ran a bunch of burial chambers, etc., and it was very valuable content. However, I spoke a lot during the 6.5 hours, and while trying to edit it, I found that there was no way for me to build a cohesive video that was less than like 4.5 hours long. We did a lot of farming, things like that. That all culminated in a video that was very long, and something that I personally was not super happy with. And one of the reasons why my name is on my YouTube channel instead of a pseudonym is because I want to put out content that I enjoy watching and that I'm proud of. And unfortunately, that just was not content that I am very happy with. Now, what's new here that you may be seeing, and I'm going to take you through a tour of all of this. We are wearing all new gear. So we got we killed 3 trolls. That allowed us to get a troll cape and a troll helmet, which gives us the sneak bonus. So we have plus 15 to our sneak. So if I pull up our skills here, you'll see it's 10 plus 15, it's 25. So it's about the same as our jump or our run, which is really good early on here. Oh, he's still taming. Now, there's a few things that you're going to see here that are new. So I went ahead and leveled this out and got this all kind of pathed out. We're not going to make this our home base per se, like permanently. However, this is going to be where we're at until we find the Elder, kill the Elder, and then find a large enough swamp where we can do some generally fun things. I have, let's see, I don't want to get too close and scare that boar. We can sneak. We'll sneak. We got a nice little crafting area here. We'll do this first. We got a nice little crafting area here. I was able to get both the workbench and the forge here under some roofs, so they're both usable. As a matter of fact, we'll go ahead and repair everything while we're here. I gathered enough copper to get a bronze axe, some fine wood. We got more core wood, and we made a butcher's knife and a cultivator. What the butcher's knife is used for is just simply slaughtering tamed animals. The reason why we went with it is simply just killing these becomes very vital to our survival here later on. I've also built this rudimentary storage system over here, as well as this cooking station with our cauldron. We now have carrots, so we can make carrot soup, which is great. However, this does take mushrooms. Deer stew is great as well. It requires cooked deer meat, which we don't have as much as I thought we would have. And then the other thing we have is Queen's Jam. This is extremely expensive to make. So we're not going to be making this anytime soon, just because that cost of 8 raspberries and 6 blueberries, that's non-restorable. So it's not renewable. The raspberries and blueberries we find out in the world, and that's fine. It's great that we can find those out in the world, but ultimately they only respawn every few days. You're not going to get as many as you need to keep it consistent, although it does craft 4 from that. Boar jerky is also not something we're going to eat. Generally, two health foods and 1 stamina food is all you're going to need while you're running around doing things. And then while we're here at base, we'll eat honey and some of the leftover fruits and stuff that we have, just because we don't need a ton of stuff. I did a huge farm where we grabbed a ton of trees. I cut down the forest near the house. As you can see, there's a bunch of stumps over here. And we mined a ton of rocks so that we could create 3 furnaces, 3 kilns. This allows us to... Wow, that's a lot of fish. Now, this is new. I didn't see this last time, which is fine. Can I grab you? Yep, we just did. So these will allow us to capture fish. This is where fish spawn. There's a ton of fish here. Because of this, if we mine out this stone, I'm sure all of this would turn into reeds here, which would allow us to fish in this little fishing hole. That's pretty cool. However, this is also a nice little area for us to park the boat, and over here as well. We have... Now I'm going to show you the map here in a second after we go over the farm area here that I've built. So built a nice little area here. This allows for 10 carrots to be placed in a row, and we can place 3 in each one of these. So I think that's 30, 60, 90, 120, 150 carrots. The way that carrots operate, I'm going to crouch just so I don't scare him here. The way that carrots operate... Oh, we don't have any carrot seeds. There's none on us. All right, we're in the process of filling this up. So basically, you plant carrots from the carrot seeds you find in the dark forest, and it allows you to plant carrots here. Once the carrots are planted, then you can pick them up. Then you can place seed carrots down, which basically gives you 3 seeds per every carrot. Now, as you can see, we can fill this up for 150. That means that we'll get 450 seeds. That means that we can do 2 rotations of carrots and 1 rotation of seeds. Carrots right now are our most valuable food stuff, as well as boars. The reason being is it allows us to make carrot soup with some mushrooms, and we also have minced meat sauce that we can make, which requires boar meat, neck, tail, and carrots, which we're going to get a ton of boar meat while we're hanging around, just because our boar will continue to populate, whether we're here or not. And deer stew, which a blueberry and a neck tail. So we can kill neck as we pass around, and that'll allow us to get minced meat sauce. The deer meat will kill deer as we see them, and get blueberries as well as we see them. I think we've already got close to a stack. But that is the basics of everything that I did in the last episode, as well as in the time off the episode. I think at the end of that last 6-hour session, I said I was going to get this completely planted out so that I could have a full carrot farm here, as well as get a 2-star boar tamed, which I grabbed that 2-star boar. And I ran into this very strange bug where occasionally you'll tame an animal, whether it's a boar, a wolf, a lox, a rabbit, whatever, and it'll try and run back to its original spawn location, which for us is over here. I'll go ahead and remove that and unmark that. So I tamed a 2-star boar, bred it with a regular boar, and it kept trying to run back to the original spawn location. Well, fortunately, it had bred a 2-star boar already, and I had killed the 0-star boar before, and when I deleted the fence to move it over here, because I thought I could just push it, and if it moved a little bit, whatever, it ran all the way back. And then I tried to bring it all the way back over here, but because it kept trying to run back, every time I would stop pushing it because I slid off of it or whatever, it just ran straight back. And I ended up killing it, just grabbing the piglet, and I'm taming another boar right now. That will allow us to have, once that's tamed, I'll break one of the fences, push it in, replace the fence, break that, and then we won't have to crouch around here. Other than that, since we cut down all these trees, it's actually given this a nice landscape here. going all the way up into the mountains. I'm actually quite fond of this area. And I think if we removed this stone, like we just... Oh, there's another fish just hanging out. So if we remove this fish... And there's a deer. We won't kill it now. It's about to be nighttime. I will kill that bird, though. Wow, that was way off. And it flew away. If we remove this, we can actually turn this into quite a nice little harbor. So this may end up being where we end up building our base finally. Now, one of the things we need to do and probably work towards, since I've done and built up the base a little bit, is we probably need to explore putting a wall around the base. This may or may not be the final... Oh, this is another thing that we have done. So I went ahead and placed a bear rug down here, or not a bear rug, but a deer rug. We have a chest with all of our valuables in it, an excess honey, a chair, and a table, and a bed. We're going to go ahead and sleep here. On a boat carved from dark wood, beneath ragged sails, you lie with your arms folded across your chest. Blurred faces like thumbprints on the darkness. Come familiar songs and familiar faces. Okay. So we feel cold. Now, I'm gonna stay, or day 40, so we can get another raid. Now, right now, the only raid available to us is the Elder's army. The forest moves against you. As you can see, I died here. That was from the forest moves against me raid. They have a chance to spawn every 40 minutes. I've already had it run into me once. And it wasn't fun. They try to kill your boar and stuff like that. So the other thing we did was we did a lot of copper farming. I went ahead and got a ton of copper, obviously built a ton of bronze. We built the carve. Now the carve is nice because it travels fast enough to where we could go across the ocean. And as you can see here, let me move far enough away where we won't trigger a raid by just standing here. I ran to the other, or to the island closest to us on the north, that one right there. And I went ahead and... Oh, we died there as well. I forget about that. I went and explored the entirety of the outskirts of the island, not with a boat, but by running. One of the reasons why I wanted to do that was if I happened upon a Vegvizir stone or something of that nature, it would allow me to basically find where the Elder is. There is another island right here. I don't know what it is, what's on it. I don't know where any of these things are. I know that there's another island down here somewhere, and we haven't really explored much. The last episode was just exploring the rest of our island. I went and cleared 1, 2, 3, 4, or this is the first one we did. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't clear that one. 4. We did 4 burial chambers, and that allowed us to basically build everything that you are seeing here today. Now, the cart is nice. We've got some bronze nails. Decided to do that. The next thing that we need to do in terms of base building... I have no wood in front of me here. The next thing we need to do in terms of base building, and 150 charcoal queued up, so we're good on that. The next thing we need to do is look into getting a fermenter. One of the things that we can do, and I'll go ahead and just throw 3 in there because why not? If we look in the fermenter, we can make this poison resistance mead. This is huge. This is necessary for us to go into the swamp. We are going to want to do that as soon. We're going to want to make these as soon as possible. We're going to want to build up 10, 20, 30 of them. 10, 20, 30 of them. and that'll basically last us the entirety of the swamp and get us ready to go into the mountains. Now, what we're going to do today, I'm going to sit here and tame this boar. And when this boar is tamed, I will come back and we will start getting it bred. And then once I have a couple of 2-star boars set up, we'll call it good. If these all finish, which I think they have, I'll go ahead, harvest these, and replant for seed carrots, and we will try and fill this out as we're progressing through today. Today is going to be all about progression. All that's left for us to do is find the elder. We have our bronze mace here, still a wood shield. Nothing's going to change about that. Bronze buckler, not necessarily worth it in terms of how much bronze it costs for us to make. I think if I go back and look, it's too much, or it just doesn't make sense for us to make. We have 18 tin and a bunch of copper. We could realistically make a buckler and get it fully upgraded. We could even honestly make bronze armor with everything that we have, but I just don't see a point to us doing that. So the main objectives for us today is find the elder. Once we find the elder, we are also going to try and find Haldor the shopkeeper. Reason being is he has a fishing rod and a few other things that we're going to want as time progresses on. Right now, we cannot take advantage of any of the fishing update, and that kind of sucks. So our main objective today is just going to be find the elder and kill the elder and find Haldor the shopkeeper, and I'm going to kill this. Oops. Wasting a bunch of arrows. Find the elder, find the shopkeeper, buy Megging Yord, as well as fishing rod, and probably a little bit of bait. I don't think we actually need bait once we start catching a few fish, but it's always nice to have 100 or so laying around. So we're going to go ahead and do that. While these things are taming, I'm just going to be chilling out. You won't hear from me for a little bit. Once it's tamed, I will come back to you. Okay, so I just wanted to... Okay, dude. Come here. Really? Already? After all that work? So I just wanted to give you guys a little update. I went ahead and cut down a few more trees and used all of the wood to build a wall that goes around. Now, I've got a gate there, but not one here. And I think I'm going to end up placing a door here that just goes out to the boat. Now, the reason I took influence from the old Viking circle forts. They were all almost entirely built of wood and earth. So basically, as I zoom out here, it's a big circle that encircles this whole base. And I went with this simply because I think it is going to fit. We don't have much more we're going to add here. I could eat another bite. Okay, we'll add that in. There's not much more that we can add in here that that is going to... I'm going to throw this on. The fires back here, or on the cooking stations back here. There's not much more we can add. We can add a little bit more honeybees if we wanted to, although not necessary with how much honey we currently are producing. Each one of these gives us one, I think, per day. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're getting 6 per day. Oh, it's about to storm. That sucks. Let's see. I don't think there's any more here. I don't want to go to sleep because it'll burn these. Need to have a lit fire under the cooking station. Let me grab some wood here. See if we can't... Where did I put it? There it is. See if we can't prevent this from being a problem. But there's not much more we're going to add in here that's going to... We need to have access to one side, at least. So if I do that, should turn it back on. There we go. And now we can come back here and cook our meat. I'll hang out right here. But we don't have any more to add. Once this boar is tamed and we start filling this up with boar, I can make a boar farm or a boar breeder that is... There we go. Grab all of our fish here. And we should be good for now and not need any more. Let's see if we can't sleep. We don't need to add any more. Anything else to this base here. We have 3 kilns. We can cook a stack of metal at a time. We've got a nice sized farm as well as a boar farm over here that we can eventually turn into a boar breeder if we wanted to. And I could even expand this and make this a little bit bigger, knock this down and put like an actual legitimate house here. Probably in the similar style, but this is only, I think, 3 wide, so maybe I go 5 or 7 wide, and I think 5 wide would be enough, and that'll give us, as you can see, a ton of space here. Yeah, this is 3 wide. Right, 1, 2, out. Interesting. That is so interesting to me. It's 3 wide, but it's not 3 wide. Interesting development there. Well, we could even expand that a little bit if we needed to. This will be our starter base and starting location. We're right next to the stones. We can always leave that portal there, and pretty much nothing we run into will knock this down, these walls down for a while. The trolls have a decent chance to, but the main purpose of these is just to prevent stuff from killing like the boars and destroying our crops and our kilns and stuff. It's really not to fully deter the enemies from getting into the base, and it won't do a good job of keeping them out completely, but it's just enough to give us enough time to run out and start fighting them. That's really all that this is. And standing on top of these, actually, we can shoot at them as they approach. But this I'm actually quite proud of this. This is a long way from where we started. We got quite a bit done here. Quite a bit's done. Let's go ahead and go to sleep here, and I'll see you next time I have an update. All right, so welcome back. The boar is tamed. So what we can do here is push him in, and then come back to miscellaneous and make sure the fence is oriented in the right way. And then we can knock these 3 down here. And we should have now a nice boar farm. This is awesome. So this is a 2-star boar, and this is a no-star boar. Let's see. If I drop this on the ground, will you eat that? You will. Cool. So now what you should see here is they will come together and they will get hearts. If this one gets pregnant, it will spawn a 2-star boar. If this one gets pregnant, it will spawn a 0-star boar. So eventually, after they eat enough food, they will spawn another boar. And once we have 2 2-star boars, we can get rid of this one, and we'll just have 2 2-star boars that we can then breed enough to fill this pen up with, essentially. And I think we can actually have I think it's like 8 boars in this area. I'm not entirely sure. That's a lot because these will drop, I believe it's 4 boar meat and 4 leather scraps. So if you think about that, if we have 8 and we kill 6 of them, that's 24 boar meat. That's quite a bit. So we'll see once we get it started. But other than that, now there isn't much left for us to do. I'm gonna hang out here while these guys and try and get these guys to breed. Our carrots did come to fruition, and I did plant them down, so that is awesome. These are done. So next, all we have to do is wait for these to be fully grown. They'll look like a bunch of cotton plants, and we'll just pull them up, and then once they're pulled up and we have all the seeds, we can plant this whole thing full of carrots. I think it should give us enough seeds and then some, so we should be able to do half of this, the full thing is carrots, and then plant half of those back as seed carrots, and basically have infinite carrots, which is nice. And now that that's done, I see that we have a nice little spot here. We could plant probably 3 more beehives down here, and they'll give us quite a bit more honey, and that'll kind of complete the half circle there. 3 on the side, 3 up here, 3 right here, and we'll have most of them done, because I don't really see any other use for this area right here right now. But this is also something I want to talk about real quick before we basically go AFK again. Is the recording that I had, and for the previous 4 episodes, we have talked about how we are probably not going to build our base here. And of course, here I am with a base built here with some walls and a lot of stuff. So let's talk about that. I'm going to give you a little bit. Now, this is a little bit of spoiler, but not really if you haven't played Valheim. There's 5 biomes, or 6 biomes now, I guess. You have meadows, black forest, swamp, mountains, plains, and the latest update is the Mistlands. The meadows and the black forest do not have a ton of resources that you need once you get to the swamp. You're really only going to use wood, which you get from farming birch trees, fir trees, all the trees. You're really only going to use those to build build your bases and fuel your kilns until you can get to the swamp and build a coal farm. And then once you build a coal farm, you won't really ever use these. And we can actually turn these into 3 more smelters, and we can get 6 going at one time, which is cool because then we can do 2 stacks of metal, which will be useful because we will eventually here, hopefully in the next week or so, well, I can eat another bite. Wow. Hopefully in the next week or so, we'll do a live stream over on my Twitch where we do a big iron farming session. Oh, looks like one of them got pregnant here. I think it's the 2-star. Hopefully. But once we get to the swamp, we get a little bit of iron. We're going to build a longboat. And the longboat is on a top list of priorities for us to build because it basically has the cart's worth of storage, whereas this only has 4 slots. And the longboat will give us we'll be able to basically farm a ton of different crypts and get it completely built up, full of iron, bring it back here, and then we'll have enough iron to build iron armor, fully upgrade it, get the iron, or build the armor from the plains, which requires iron, and have enough iron for iron beams where we could build a castle up in the mountains if we wanted to. One of the things, what I'm considering doing right here is I think this island may be a really nice spot for us to build a large kind of not town but country, right? Like if we turn this entire island into a country where we've got this massive castle up on top, and then we have this huge like port down here and another one over here where these natural harbors are kind of built. And then we can clear out. We probably don't want to clear out a ton of forest down here, but we can even build like some small villages in here and stuff. And that would, I think that is going to be our long-term project for this entire season and the culmination of the season. Once we've defeated all the bosses, got all the things, done all the things, that will be the final thing that we do before we call this season an end. Oh, let's go take a look at that. I talked so much that we ended up getting a boar. We got a 2-star piggy. Awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and grab this here. We don't want them to breed again. I need to separate them somehow. I don't want to accidentally kill the 2-star boar. There we go. Got him dead. So now, yes, this is inbreeding, but the game doesn't care. These will basically make more, and we'll get, you know, between 5 and 8 set up, and that's nice. So we'll go ahead and wait a few, because I want to get some better food going. The fish is actually a killer food, but I do want to get carrot soup going, so we'll wait a little bit here. I may record this. Typically what I'm going to try and do is edit out all the boring stuff that is just me talking about random nonsense, and unless I have something important to say, I'm not gonna record that, or rather I'll edit it out, and we'll just be chilling here for the time being. We'll be chilling for the time being, where we just wait for those boars a little bit. I want to get the carrots mainly is what we're waiting on. Once these are, I think, 2 rotations, so 4 in-game days. Well, 3 now, because this one's about to come to an end. And we'll have enough carrots to make a huge amount of carrot soups, which is an excellent stamina food. And the boar we can make minced meat sauce with, which will give us 40. So we'll have a huge chunk of health from, or we could even do probably the boar jerky. If I look at this here, carrot soup gives us 45. Raw fish, or fish, gives us 45. So that's the opposite of that, which this also gives us 45. So we can eat the raw fish for a while we wait for basically deer stew. But they probably give us 15 each, right? Yeah. So 15, 45, and 15, and this gives us 23. So that's 68 for each bonus. And I think our base health is 33, and our base stamina is like 40. So we'll have just about 100 health and 100 stamina, which will be more than enough for us to venture and find the elder and kill him. And yeah, so I think we're going to be pretty well to do on food once we get these carrots built out. However, whether or not that takes forever, we'll find out. Another thing we want to consider here, since we have this nice little circle fort going. Oh, that's not built correctly. I'll have to fix that. One thing we're going to want to consider is expansion if we need to, where we can go. These 3 kilns will eventually be gone once we have the swamp. And then the next time we're going to build a base, I think the next time we're going to build a base is going to be in the plains biome. So once we find a nice plains biome with a mistlands nearby, we're going to go ahead and build over there. We'll build probably some kind of fortress over there, because it's the plains is very dangerous for your buildings and things like that. Also, since we're here and there's a big mountain biome, we can even tame wolves while we're here, which is awesome, because that'll allow us to build the wolf armor if we mine some silver. So we may not even use any of the iron to build iron armor if we don't need to. Now, my experience tells me that we're going to want to build it, but it does not necessarily mean that we will build it right away. We may want to build it after we do, you know, a huge mining session at first with the carve, where we build our iron armor and a longboat, and then we call it good. So that may be that. All right. Well, I will see you once I have an update for you. I'm kind of hoping that a raid happens so I can catch it on film, though. So either a raid or next time I have an update for you, I will see you again. Bit of an update for you. I'm going to hop on the boat and I'm going to go explore just really close to this main island. One of the nice things about farming is these seeds will take another day or two to grow. So for the next day or two, what I'm going to do is just sail around. Probably for one day, go sail in one direction, probably out east here. And then the next day, come sail down here. And then that'll allow us to plant it. And then we're going to have some more days. And I think multitasking is going to be the best. The only thing we needed to be really close by for is the boars. They will not... Where's our piggy? Where's the piglet? Oh, he's right here. Okay. The boars, we need to be in spawning distance. However, the piggy will grow into a boar no matter what. So by the time that we come back, that should be fully grown. And these crops should be planted. But I'm going to go ahead and go exploring. So until I have another update for you, I'll see you soon. Hey, welcome back. Man, this is a view coming in as these things start to spawn in. We can see our village and all that good stuff. Let's see what we can do here. See how good my parking skills are with the boat. It's been about a day. And one of the best parts of Valheim, jump out, the boat stops. So quick recap here. I went ahead and just sailed around. It took me about the whole day. And I sailed around this island, and I think this is a good candidate for having either the elder... Oh, look at that. All of our stuff here. Piggy still has not grown. Well, hopefully by the time we sleep. Yeah, so I think that's a good candidate for having either the elder or the shop on it. Hopefully it's got one or the other. I'm gonna go ahead and sleep and then grab the portal from the other place. I don't know what this is called. Sackstones, yeah. So I'll go ahead and grab the portal from the copper over here, and then bed needs a nearby fire. Okay, well I've got a few pieces of wood here. Oh wait. I'll add 3. Hopefully all this stuff is done and ready by the time we wake up, but I'm gonna go ahead and grab the portal, head back to that island, go explore it, run straight down the middle of it, see what I can find. If the shop or the elder is there, then I will mark it and give you another update. See you then. Okay, got a raid going on here. It says the forest is moving. So this is a raid event. With our upgraded weapons and gear, I don't see this being too much of an issue. The main thing we gotta watch out for is the shaman, which I can see in the distance here. He's running straight towards us. So he throws that poison. Ugh. See, that's why we gotta be careful. He's gonna do it again, and I just need to get back on land. We need to pull these out. He just does a lot of damage over time, and he heals his teammates here. We need to just move out of the way of that. So a raid is pretty interesting because it's going to be just a pretty consistent few minutes of fighting. They last anywhere between 30 and 150 seconds. I don't remember how long this one lasts. I just hit that motherfucker so far. The other one we need to watch out for is the Grey Dwarf Brute. I want to dodge this guy's shit. Hit him. Dodge that. And we basically need to just be careful, not get hit by the poison, and we'll be okay. Now, one of the things we can do, because we do have this, is we can come in here, add some forest. See, the forest rests again. Add some fire here. And these guys are going to attack the door and try and break it. Now, because I have a workbench, if they do break it, it won't be a big deal. And they're going to just be attacking my things. Now, since this is done, I'm going to go ahead and clean this up and not worry too much now. Dodge the Grey Dwarf Brute's attacks. We're going to keep getting poisoned. We need to just keep dodging. I just don't want to get hit too many times by him. We did pull a fair bit more. Okay. Fuck. Fighting another army, huh? All right, excellent, excellent. We got a bunch of stuff here. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and pick all this up because we're gonna need it. I can pull this home with us, this home with us, that home with us, I think. We have 20 fine wood on us as well. Oh, look at all that stone. Okay. I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do with all this stuff that we've got hanging around here. This is also I'll show you this before I cut to the next thing. This is how much area you have to mine out for a copper vein, and this is just one whole copper vein that I mined, and I mined a little bit of another one in that footage that I decided not to use. And yeah, it takes freaking forever to get this. Let's get this built up. It takes freaking forever for you to mine all this stuff out. Like I said, I spent 5.5 hours. 2 hours of that footage was basically me just mining this copper vein, which is like incredible that we did that much. One of the things we don't care too much about that. Let's break this now. We can pick up the wood, and now I can just walk through this portal over encumbered and be right at my base. So I'm gonna go ahead and sort this stuff all out, and then I'll give you another update once I have an update for you. Okay, we have landed on the island. Now, I'm going to do the first thing I recommend you always do is have 10 wood on you and enough materials to make a little portal. Now, we're going to wait for this to get connected. There we go. So now we can teleport back to the main island at our base, where we can go ahead and sleep if we need to. Now, we have about 8 minutes before we're going to need to do that. And I'm not entirely too worried about what we're going to run into in the Black Forest here, as we are pretty much done with our time here. So I'm just going to go ahead and run in, mark stuff, and tell you how it all goes. I will see you when I have an update. All right, well, here's that update. We unfortunately, I have went and explored this entire island. There is quite a few interesting things here. I didn't mark everything I ran into, but unfortunately, no shop, no elder. I'm not gonna say that was a waste of time, but because it's important that we do explore our island as much as possible. We probably want to stay out of the ocean as it's becoming nighttime. Well, I do have 85 arrows if we do run into one. That would actually make for good footage, but kind of an action-packed episode if we did that. Yeah, we went ahead and explored quite a bit there. All over this island. I ran all around it, activated my Eikthyr powers. You can see it's on cooldown. Just went ahead, ran around, marked the interesting things, grabbed some resources, some materials, got 2 ancient seeds. This allows us to fight the Elder when we find the Elder. And then picked up my portal and workbench and packed it on up and started sailing on home. We're just about to be there, which is cool. Our boar should be all grown up, and they should have made a baby by now, at least one. And then, yeah, we should be all set here. Let's see how well we can park the boat again. Oh, it looks like our workbench out here got destroyed. That's unfortunate. Let's go ahead and place that down. Sometimes that'll happen. I didn't build the walls out this far because I kind of wanted to keep that circular shape. But having a workbench where your boat is important in case your boat ever breaks. All of the materials, while they will sink to the bottom there, you can actually get into the ocean enough to pick everything up. But when it breaks, if something breaks it, then you won't lose all the materials and have to regrind for a new boat. I'm gonna go ahead and rest up here, and then we'll check out what we got going on at the base here. One of the things I recommend you do in Valheim, as well as any action RPG, as I would classify this more so as an action RPG than anything else, is, oh boy, it's raining. You want to spend as little time at home as possible. Now, obviously, that's not realistic. There is always going to be something at home for you to do. It just so happens that Valheim, the way that it's built, you will build a farm and a boar breeder and have some honey and stuff in your base and build walls. That's part of the game. But outside of what you need to spend here for the farming and the boars and the smelting and all that stuff, you don't want to spend much time here if you can avoid it. It's far better for you to be spending your time exploring, clearing dungeons, gathering materials, and then you can set like an entire stack to smelt, an entire stack of metal to smelt, while you go and do something else, whether that's farming trees or doing something else. So inventory, we gathered quite a bit of materials here. The big thing is the ancient seeds. Now, the ancient seeds, do I have any in here that we have put away? I think we have one. And last I remembered, it took 3. Yes, it took 3 to summon the Elder. So I think we have enough to summon the Elder. I also grabbed a few more of those, some coins, and some more, another honeybee as well, which was pretty cool. We can go ahead and place that down. Hey, we got another piggy born. Okay, we'll go ahead and place that down. And then that will have dealt with that. We can also place our 8 wood back in here as well. I'm gonna go ahead and get this all set where we can you know what, I'll just do it on camera so you can see how I struggle with organization. More feathers, this and this. This is food that needs to go. Food. Okay, so we're full on those. You could eat another bite. Let's go ahead and eat. All right, we have some of that as well. We have more resin than I think we will ever need. That's okay though. We'll find a use for it. We'll keep this as food just in case, I guess. Oh, thank God, sunshine. Oh yes, sun, please. Grow my carrots. Okay, so they should make another one as well. That's good. Now, let's go ahead and jump up here. So, no elder. I'm almost wondering. I think what may be the course of action right now that I'm kind of rested, have the portal, have this all set up, I think priority number 1 needs to be finding the Elder and the shop. I dare say that we are kind of stuck in our progression until we figure that out. And I'm actually going to do this for some peace of mind real quick before we leave. It's going to tell me I'm too full here. Let's go ahead and just cut you in half because it's not going to take much wood for us to do this. I do that, that will not work. That looks terrible. Good old Valheim being Valheim here. That looks good enough. Okay, so now we have a fully encircled base with our gate that looks awkward and weird here. But not much we can do about that. It's just gonna look weird. Yeah. So, anyways, I think right now our most important thing is going to be finding the Elder. We are kind of limited in terms of what we're able to do until we find the Elder, because once we find the Elder, then our next task is going to be finding the swamp. But we need the key that the Elder drops in order to go to the swamp and have it be worthwhile. We could absolutely go and farm a little bit of ancient bark and a couple of other materials like blood bags and craft sausages from the Draugr entrails and things like that. And, you know, that wouldn't be terrible. It'd give us some better food, but until we find the Elder, we are going to be stuck in progression, as we will not be able to enter any of the crypts in. And they're basically like the burial mounds, but significantly cooler and way better. They also are where you find iron. So, oh wow, those boars are really just popping babies out left and right here. So what we are gonna do, I think, is I will probably end up going to find another island here that we can search, or I could always do this. Why don't we do this? I'm going to call this episode here for today. This will be kind of a filler episode. And then you guys can leave me a comment on whether or not you care if we use the map generator tool. I don't know if it's working for Mistlands. If it is, then it'll tell us on this map where we can find the Elder and where we can find all the bosses, as well as where any like significant structures are, and it'll allow us to basically not have to worry too much about that. Actually, as I'm talking about it, you can go ahead and leave a comment on whether or not you mind if I use that or not. I don't think I want to. However, it's not going to be unreasonable for us to use it if, like, for instance, I go to another 2 islands and there's no sign of the Elder. I ended up having to do this on my main map, or on my main character with my home world. Basically, I had explored probably 30% of the map and had not found Motor, the mountain boss, or the boss from the mountain biome, and had not found a single stone that told me where he was. And it was just I was wasting a ton of time just running around to every island that had a mountain, trying to find any idea of where this where the boss would be. And then I found out that there wasn't a boss stone anywhere where I'm going, where I would have been, and where it would have told me he would have been. So I ended up having to look it up on the map generator, and wow, they are really pumping them out. I think that's 3 babies we've spawned to this episode. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's a lot of them. So we're going to have 5 more So I think what I'm gonna do is we'll have this be the last and final episode before we fight the Elder, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do I want to do this off camera? Do I want to do it off camera where we go and we find the Elder, and you guys can comment whether or not you mind if I use the map generator tool. And it's basically, if you don't know what it is, it's a website where you put your seed in and it tells you where all the structures and everything is in the game. Now you can either set it to tell you where all the structures are or just tell you where the bosses are. And there's like this whole thing, and what I would do is just use it to see where the boss is. Or where a boss stone is, and that's on any of my islands where I can go and find it. But I don't think I want to use it for now. I think the way I want to approach this for the time being is I'm probably going to go and explore off camera a bunch, or maybe I'll do it on camera for next episode, where next episode will be all about fighting the Elder and killing the Elder. We have spent way too long without progressing to the next boss. We have done a lot. I'll go ahead and list it here, but we have done a lot. We have set up a carrot farm, a boar farm. We have now 7 beehives, 3 smelters, 3 kilns, a circle fort, and comfort level, I think it's like 9, home that we get to sleep in, and built a carve. That is a lot of progress that we have made, and this will skyrocket us into the next chunk of gameplay that we're going to be doing. But unfortunately, the only thing that's prohibiting us from doing that is finding and killing the Elder. So I think what I'm going to do is end the episode here. I'm going to edit this really quick, get it thrown up, because it's been almost a week since I published a Valheim video. And we will see you. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and leave a like, a comment, and a subscription if you have enjoyed this content and made it this far to the end of the video. 93% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed. And if you want to support my channel, it's a small channel. We're just starting out here. But if you want to support us, or support me, I should say. It's not really us. There's no team. It's just me right now. If you want to support me, the best way to do that is to leave a subscription, because that's free, and follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/NoahOdom. Next week, we will be doing a Valheim stream where I'll be talking and interacting with chat. You can meet all the homies over on stream, and you're more than welcome to come hang out. We'll do a big iron farm once we get the crypt key from the Elder next episode. So I plan on getting that done over Christmas time frame here. This should be coming live on Christmas Eve. I think I'm finishing the recording here at 5 a.m. and I think I'll have it updated and published by noon, and then I'll call it good. We'll call it good and ready for the next one. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.